Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tom's Guitar Show. I'm Guitar Tom. They call me Guitar Tom because I'm often seen with a guitar, and they call me on the phone. They ask me what my show's about. Say, hey, man, what's your show about? I say, well, it's about an hour. It's about guitars, guitar playing, guitar players, all things guitaristic. So if you want to call me on the phone and ask me a question about how to play the guitar, the care and feeding of your guitar, what kind of guitar is right for you? You want to talk about a related topic like the guitarron, the cithara, the lute, the oud, the huayra? There's a spider web hanging down here, man. Look at that. Huh. Never mind. I'm not seeing. I'm seeing things, but it's really there. Anyway. So you want to talk about banjos, balalaikas, bazookas, bajos, sextos. You want to talk about bandolims, bandurias, bandolas, bandoras. Did I say that already? I don't know. Like pipe organs, piccolos. I mean, I citharas, cavaquinhos. I don't know. I got distracted by there's a spider web hanging down here. I could see it in the light, and it threw me off. I've got this whole long rap I do about all the instruments I could think of at any particular time. Nothing very imaginative, really. I go through them by, like the alphabet. So I got like what letters. So I got, banjos, balalaikas, bazookas, and then I've been putting bajos, sextos, and bandolims and bandurias in there sometimes, and then mandoras, mandolas. Mandora, of course, and mandola are different. Anyway. Mandolins, mandocellos. I talk about pipe organs, piccolos, accordions and ocarinas. Clarinets, clavinets, trombones and trombomarinas, stuff like that. Talk about music. You want to talk about politics, world events, or your own personality problems. That's fine too, but keep it clean. This is a family program. Okay. All right. So it's kind of hot. I said in my Twitter feed, it's too hot to play acoustic guitar. And, of course, my only air-conditioned room I have has an air conditioner in the window. And that's kind of where I hang out these days when it's 97 degrees Fahrenheit. If it were centigrade, I'd be in trouble, wouldn't I?
Yeah. That'd be pretty, 100 degrees centigrade is boiling.
Right. Yeah, so if I were at high altitude, my blood would boil, probably. But anyway. But I guess with all the salt in my system, I'd probably boil at 97. I think. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to try it. I'll just say it's like 40-something centigrade, I think. I forget. I should work on my metric conversion because I teach lessons to people from Europe, and they just don't use the imperial at all. They don't use the imperial system with the Fahrenheit and the inches. And I'm cool with centimeters and millimeters on like guitar scale lengths because that's what we talk about, like us classical guys, because like.
Yeah, either one is easy. It's the conversion that's the problem.
Right. Yeah, but I don't exactly know if it's like 97 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that would be centigrade. It could be like if I said it was 87 degrees Fahrenheit, you say, well, that's pretty hot. But 97, if it's 104, like it was the other day when I was trying to play a gig outdoors, that was hot, But I don't know what that would be. I mean, there could be a big difference, if I 30-something, 40, if it was 80 degrees centigrade. Oh, well.
They say Celsius these days.
Celsius, yeah, Celsius, of course. Yeah, okay. How about Kelvin? I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, what am I battling about, man? I'm talking about it's hot. It's too hot. It's too hot, baby.
Too hot to play an acoustic guitar.
That's right, and that's why I said because for one thing, it's bigger on your body, and you don't want to sweat all over it. This thing is like varnished heavily. I mean, this is like painted. Some people don't even know this is actually made out of wood, but it's like heavily, finished. So you wipe it off more easily. Some of the guitars, the acoustic guitars, don't have such a thick finish on them, and they're kind of hollow. So you sweat all over your guitar, which is disgusting, of course. And they're kind of bigger. And the other thing is that, I practice with headphones on. Like I have a little setup at home where I plug things into a mixer when I have headphones on it, so I can listen to myself practice. And like I was telling Bob at the beginning before the show here, that if you turn the guitar off, it sounds like it's not very loud. And in your headphones, it sounds like, But anyway, so I could practice in headphones in the one cool room in my house. And, let everybody else fry is what I figured. Yeah, I didn't say that. Okay. All right. Well, so I brought the Telecaster and the Les Paul. I have a few guitars at home. I think people probably know that. They watch the show at all. More than one. And I acquire other ones also. I keep acquiring them. And my family doesn't know the extent to of my guitar acquisition syndrome, because if another one appears in a rack of guitars, it doesn't necessarily. Oh, by the way, see this right here? This is a Frenchman's nose. That's from a painting, and it's starting to wear out. I have to get another one. But what I did was there's a big scratch here. I got this guitar in a pawn shop, and I needed. And the only thing that was wrong with it is hardly played. It was all gouged in here. Somebody had used a pick, and they didn't know how to control it, and then they pawned it. And I got this guitar at a tremendous discount. Used, but barely used. The only thing was this gouging here, and I wouldn't want anybody to see this gouging on the top of the guitar. So because if you gouge the top of your guitar, it means you don't know how to control your pick, right? Because you don't like gouge the top of your guitar with a pick. It doesn't get down that far if you know what you're doing, So,
So when you bring that guitar,
yeah,
and we mentioned that it smells like a Frenchman.
That's right. That's what we meant. It smells like a Frenchman because it was actually a French Impressionist painting that I think I got on the calendar.
And it has a French nose on it.
That's right, it does. And I had a color photocopier, and those CD labeling kits, where you have the thing, you push it on, they have all these other little things, little strips that you can use for different things, So I was making pretty artwork on CDs that I was of me, my own recorded music, giving as gifts, and I would use things from calendars, wildflowers, whatever. But I had this one, which was a nose on one of those things you never use. So I peeled that off and put it on here. 8 or 10 years ago, and it's still there. So, anyway, that's my story. This is my G&L Telecaster, made in California. Still buzzes a lot. If you have it a single coil mode, it buzzes, and hear it. But you have both of them together, it's not as bad. People probably can hear the buzzing at home. Took the guitar to a guy, repair guy, and he was saying that it was in really good shape. It's perfect the way it is. This is the way they are. It's just buzzes a lot. That's the old-fashioned single coil sound. I've the guitar I had in the show last week, my blue Stratocaster, had a kind of a sort of like a double coil noiseless pickups installed. They were, for Fender Stratocasters, and it sounds great. It sounds like a Stratocaster, but it takes a lot of the hum out. This is in its natural state. This is what they sound like. But the thing is, if you play rock and roll, if you play real loud, they're never going to hear that anyway. Or that's just part of the tone. Bzz, Anyway. I cried a river over you. I love this fingerboard, though. I mean, I'm very happy with this guitar, to tell you the truth. I know it buzzes a bit, but don't we all, right? And, well, some of us anyway. But so the other thing I've been doing, I thought you were about to say something witty there.
Well, I was going to say maybe we should tell the people where you're appearing this week.
That's right. Hey, by the way, are you is Bob's mic on real well? Because sometimes I hear in the show it's not always. It's on. Okay, good. Because we want the lifeless voice of Bob. Bob. Did I say Mike? Yeah, Bob's mic, not Mike's. Anyway, yeah. This weekend, where I'm going to be in the beautiful downtown Kelowna at the Tuscan Moon is what they call a house gig. I'm there every week, and although I hear there's a keyboard player who's there a couple days a week, like Wednesdays and Thursdays, kind of like, you know, I don't know if he's encroaching on my territory or whatever because of darn keyboard, you know, piano players, they come in, they ruin everything for us guitar guys. It's been going on for 200 years that way. But anyway, never mind, that's not, okay. If you are a piano player, go ahead and call in, we can talk about it. But anyway, yeah, I'll be at Tuscan Moon in beautiful downtown Kelowna, right next to the bakery, right in the middle of downtown there. Can't miss it. I'll be there Friday and Saturday night. I'm supposed to start at 6, so I'll be there by 6:30. And I'm supposed to play till 9, so I'll be there playing till about 10, probably. And this Saturday, actually, this is important. I should probably try to promote this a little bit. Marcus, who's been on the show a couple of times in the past, not often, he's a mandolin player. He and I are going to play a bunch of choro music from Brazil and some tangos. And maybe a couple selections from The Godfather, because he's a mandolin player. And Paula, is owned by Warren and Paula. And actually, Paula bought the building, which used to be the hotel. And then somewhere along, she started selling wine out of a gift shop. She made it into a gift shop. And this caused Warren to start hanging around because he likes the wine, you know, fancy wine. So it turned into a wine bar where they had like little things spread on French bread, you know, to clear your palate. And that turned into hors d'oeuvres, which turned into a full-blown restaurant, which is what it is now. It's like a total restaurant. But with specializing in fancy wine. They take their wine very seriously there. And but people don't like usually fall down or anything like that. They're, you know, never mind.
It's not like downtown Iowa City.
It's not like a downtown Iowa City. People consume alcohol in different ways. Myself, I stick with the iced tea, and occasionally the police pull me over, and there I am, blameless, you know. Like when I used to drive the Cadillac, I had a 72 Cadillac that was green, but it faded over the years. So it's like chartreuse, and a big thing with like little fins in the back. And I used to, you know, like drop off, I used to play in Mexican restaurants in Cedar Rapids. And the police would pull me over fairly often for that, you know. They'd be I think, somewhat disappointed when they found a sober, you know, white guy with a license and insurance and citizenship. It was like, you know, I was like just some guy with a
registration papers and everything.
Yeah, I had everything in the glove box there, and I had the insurance and everything, and I'm a citizen, and sober. So anyway, but I'm digressing totally. I'm sorry. What I really want to say, though, is,
if people want to see you live,
yeah, they go to the Tuscan Moon in Kelowna on
Friday and Saturday.
Friday, Saturday nights. Yeah, have dinner. It's not a concert. It's background, but I try to fill it up pretty nicely. On Saturday night, we're going to have Marcus, the mandolinist, Mandolin Marcus, and we're going to play a set together, probably around 7 or so.
If they come during the dinner hour, they'll need a reservation.
They definitely need a reservation. Yeah. It's pretty busy, so packed on Saturday night. It was just absolutely packed. But and I'm hoping it's not so hot because it's nice outdoors is so much nicer, except when it's 94 degrees and shade, you know, and it's been 100 all day. But anyway, yeah, I'll be there, and Marcus will be there with me on Saturday. And if you like choro music from Brazil, it's really cool stuff. It's great. It's like I've done quite a bit of research about this. I could bore you, you know, but. Choro music probably started about the 1860s, and it went on till like the 1950s, and it was sort of replaced by bossa nova. And then there's a revival going on. But there are a lot of Europeans, in Brazil, and so they have the mandolin, which they call the bandolim, and they have a slightly different design, but it's tuned the same as a mandolin. They have the cavaquinho, which is tuned in different ways, but one way is to tune it as like a mandolin, but it looks like a ukulele, but has little wire strings. The viola, or whatever, which is a guitar. And they have like 7-string guitars that have more bass, which I think is kind of cool because you got the low bass notes. And I'm into that, you know. and then they have the bandura, or the bandura, which is the pandura, I'm saying pandura, which is a tambourine with extra jingles. It's like a little different from our tambourine, and it's a whole thing. They play with their fingers. It's like a whole drum set. If you know how to play a tambourine really well, it's like people here. It's usually the singer will shake it and slap it, but in a rock band. But there, it's a whole thing. It's cool music. But we had shore music on one of the guitar specials a year or two ago, upstairs at Uptown Bill's. So we had a pandura player and Marcus on the mandolin, and I played guitar. And so we had that percussion thing. It was really, really cool. But anyway, we won't have the percussion guy, but it'll be Marcus and me. And Saturday night, be there for that one. Be there Friday too. It's great. I'll do my thing. I won't talk. I'll shave, and and I won't be offensive, and I won't say anything, which helps a lot, I think, to the show. And then I'll be cleaned up and everything. I tend to see. Tuesday is sort of like my day off. The only thing I really have to do on Tuesday is Tom's guitar show, the way things are now. Every other day I teach and play gigs and stuff. And so I really let myself go for the TV. And anyway, well,
before Chuck got us so organized, we used to focus the cameras on your stubble.
That's right. Well, it's useful.
Yeah.
Gives you a vantage point. I think in Italian they call it schifoloso. I asked somebody what the meaning of schifoloso. I asked one guy what schifoloso was. He says the kind of guy you see at the park who doesn't shave very often and is picking up cigarette butts to smoke. This was said with an Italian accent. And then I asked another guy, and he said it's something that's disgusting. It's disgusting. He said, "What you could say it with people or food? They give their food. He said, what is this? This is schifoloso." And then I had a tutor who to learn Italian, and I asked her what schifoloso meant, and she slapped my face. So.
So whatever it is, it's uncomplimentary.
It's not a big compliment. Yeah, I looked it up online, and there was a picture of a bunch of men with their shirts off, their arms up like this, and these women, like middle-aged women with hairnets and stuff, sniffing their armpits, working for some company. Yeah. I mean, maybe they made deodorant or something. And I can sort of read Italian, but this is a schifoloso job or an occupation schifoloso. So anyway, I like Italian.
Getting back to guitars.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, a lot of Italians moved to Brazil, and Argentina, of course. So that's my thread. Speaking of Italian, so we're going to do. Paula is of Italian extraction, and a lot of people who invented the tango in Argentina were of Italian extraction, and we'll be doing at least 2 tangos among our choro songs, and some selections from The Godfather on Saturday. So.
And maybe my favorite Italian song that they play in all the Italian restaurants, It's Now or Never.
That's right. Oh, solo mio. Yeah. Reminds me of that young fellow who was working on that, O Solo Mio, because he was going to get extra credit for his Italian class if he could sing or play an Italian song. So he's going to learn how to sing it in Italian, and which is a very foreign language to him. He's working it up, but he went to Italy on a study abroad thing, and he was supposed to be back. I haven't seen him. But, oh well. These college guys, you never see them. They disappear. They never come back. Anyway, so when there's hot weather, I always waste a lot of time, but I'm going to waste even more. I'm going to switch guitars for fun here for a second. Let's see, volume 2. Take this one off, and now that we've gone through my whole. My thing is, I put this strap button here. You see, on the back. See, the Fender guitars or Fender style guitars. Here we go. Have where is it? One in this camera over here too. I got this one. Yeah. Okay. I went See, they have these back plates, which you bolt the neck on. And so what I've been doing is I've been screwing one of these things in, these strap buttons, onto one of the screws that's already there. I had actually to get the guy drill these out for me so they would fit. So this way the guitar actually hangs on my person higher, more like a classical guitarist would hang a guitar, than the other strap button, which is here, right? That's the regular one, but that makes the neck hang too low. So I put them here now. This is my new thing this summer, because I was having this trouble with my thumb hurting. And certain guitars wouldn't hurt me, so I've been trying to figure out why that is. And
we don't want to say anything about membership in the Geritol generation and arthritis.
that's right, Arthur. That's what I heard Bo Diddley being interviewed some years before his death, and he said he's going to keep playing until Arthur made him stop. I don't know, maybe it was Terry Gross on Fresh Air or somebody. Arthur, who's that? Arthritis, he said. So anyway, so here's Les Paul. It hangs a little bit. I'm tempted to put a strap button back here. These don't bolt on those. These are what they call a fixed neck. See, it's you can see that there. It's a fixed neck. It's actually like dovetailed in there. A set neck, and so the neck is actually attached to the wood, which is great. I say it transfers the sound better, but you can't take it off, and work with it like you can on a Fender. So anyway, let's see if this thing works. Volume 2. That's buzzy. I rather like a Les Paul. I didn't really until... Was that last summer I went through my whole Gibson thing? I went through this whole thing about there's two kinds of people in this world. Them and us. And some people like Fenders, some people like Gibsons. Like, like you're not supposed to like both,
I guess I'm one of them.
You're one of them.
I'm one of them.
Doug says he's them. Nice shirt you got there, Doug. Though looks just like mine. Okay, it's not unusual.
You guys both got the same email.
That's right. Yeah, we there's a lot of www.patv.tv, but anyway.
I don't have a guitar session. I can't afford both.
I see. Well, I have a habit. It's been going on for a long time, though. If you think about, I felt really guilty. I was out for a walk, one of my long walks, when I bought that yellow butterscotch Telecaster. I think I had cash. I think I had a bunch of cash. I was working, and then I was shoving money away in my pocket, in my wallet, and I had $400 and some in there, and the thing was, it was $450. It was more than I could afford. I mean, it was more than I had on me. And I saw it, and I just had to have it. So I talked him down from $450 to $400 because of the gouge it had in the pickguard. Now those things go for like $1,600 new because they're made, they're made in California by Californians. It's a serious electric guitar, and so I knew it would be $1,500–1,600, and so I talked him down to $400 because of the gouge in the top, and then I gave him like basically all the money I had. I had like $2 left over for a sandwich or something, and I carried the thing home, and the case was broken. Also, the case, the handle was broken on the case, so it was a big rectangular case with no handle. So I put it up. It was hard to carry after a while. A great big rectangular case with no handle. So I put it on my shoulder, I'd put it under my arm, whatever, and I carried it all the way home, which is about, from my pawn shop to the northeast side of Iowa City was kind of a long way. Riverside Drive was like a couple miles maybe, but. And then I had remorse because really I needed the money, I had bills and stuff like that. But 10 years later or more, however long it's been, it's still fine. See, guitars don't go stale,
The bills got paid somehow, and you have the guitar.
Yeah, well, I do have running water and electricity at home today. I mean, all those years later, and I'm not. I would say it's a habit, okay? It's a bad habit. I want more guitars. I want different guitars. I got that DBZ, that Zielinski guitar, the spring, and I really was into that, because and I still am. I pick it up. That's the one I have plugged into my headphones at home. Play it a lot. Don't want to go through my life without that sound available to me whenever I want it. But on last week's show, I watched a bit of it. I had the Blue Stratocaster. And I really want to have a Stratocaster with a maple neck. I also have one, a Mexican-made one that has a rosewood neck, which is not quite as good a guitar, but it has the rosewood fingerboard, you know, and it's different. So I want to have that difference, you know, because I mean, some people say, well, you know, maple's better than the rosewood. And I say, no, man, maple's all clattery and noisy, and the softer rosewood is better. And I say, I like them both, you know. So it's like when you go to the all-you-can-eat buffet and you have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And you don't have to decide. Say, oh, gee, should I have the chicken and the fish? Well, or the fish. They say, well, I'll have a little chicken and a little fish. And they'll have
You're us and them.
yeah, the what?
I say you're us and them.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, that's it. Because like last summer, I had my big thing here in the show about the, Les Pauls. I got a Les Paul and an SG last summer, and they're both paid for now. I mean, I got them paid off by the end of the summer, and it took me a 3 months, but and now I have a Les Paul. So if I want to, here I am pictured with a Les Paul, not a Fender or a G&L or something, but a real honest to gosh Gibson Les Paul. Anyway. And so I'm trying to play Heat Wave. Yeah, whatever, like a heat wave. I don't know, man. I'm not used to playing outside of my headphones. I'll think of something to do here, but. By the way, is this, next week is the last Tuesday of the month, isn't it?
I don't think so. I think
Oh.
we got 2 more.
We got 2 more. Okay. 2 more. Okay, so next week's just another week.
Week after next will be remote.
Yeah, okay. So there's a young fellow who plays the electric cello. I forget his name, but I'll probably have to figure that out by next week. So, that's right. And that's right. You know something? I was wrong about Marcus, too. It's a week from this weekend that Marcus is going to come on. It's not this week. If people probably channel surfed, and they just caught that little bit, and now they're gone. They're not watching it anymore. So it's going to be the 28th. This is going to be like the 21st, I guess, this Saturday.
Today's 17th.
Yeah, okay, so it'll be like 21st or whatever. Okay, well, Marcus is coming on the 28th. And then, so then the last one would be like the 31st or something. Yeah, Tuesday, okay. Yeah, okay. Right, so I'm wrong, man. I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
We'll be there.
Yeah, well...
And we'd certainly love to see our audience there.
That's right. Well, we should start promoting it now. Yeah, the last Tuesday of the month, we do a special up at the Uptown Bill's Coffee House.
Which is the 31st.
31st.
Corner South Dubuque and Lafayette.
That's right.
Uptown Bill's Coffee House.
Right down by the tracks. Easy to find. All you got to do is go to Dubuque Street, south of, it takes a little hiatus on Burlington Street for the hotel. So you want to get on the south side and then go down Dubuque Street and a few blocks, and there you'll be, down by the tracks, Uptown Bill's Coffee House, right above PATV, corner of Lafayette. Yeah, he's adjusting microphones and things. Okay, anyway, I thought he was going to say something, yeah, all right, well, all right. So, so I'm sorry, Marcus won't be here this weekend. He'll be there next weekend at Tuscan Moon. And then a few days later, we will have the Tom's Guitar Show special up at Uptown Bill's Coffee House. So I should also say that same Saturday, the 28th, that I'll be playing with Marcus in the evening, that day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we're going to have a little meeting of the Iowa City Classical Guitar Society in Meeting Room B at the Iowa City Public Library. 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon, the 28th. And so if anybody plays classical guitar or likes to listen to people play classical guitar or wants to support classical guitar playing in the community, they should be there. It's a small informal gathering. I say if you have a classical guitar, bring it, and we'll see what happens. I'd like to, see us put together maybe some recitals, possibly some guitar quartet stuff. The LA Classical Guitar Quartet was played at that new auditorium they have there in Coralville, and you know, it was kind of cool, a guitar quartet. So we could do that. There used to be an Iowa City classical guitar quartet that played together at a restaurant downtown every Saturday night. So it'd be fun to do something like that again, you know. So anyway, that's going to be the 28th, Meeting Room B. All right. See if I can make some music on this Les Paul here. Yeah, but probably these. You want a Les Paul or a Gibson that's different from a Fender's. The scale length is a little shorter apparently on a Gibson. So the strings that I use, I have the same strings on this one as I do on that G&L Telecaster, but this one's it's really easy for me to overplay this because they're skinny little wires. I like a thicker string. In fact, I'll go straight home tonight and hide in my little cold room and put on I bought a new set of 11s. Now, if you know your strings, Electric guitar strings usually talk about the first string and the gauge. So you have, well, the usual light string that people use a lot is a 0.009 gauge. So it's 0.009, right? They call those nines, of course. They got the 0.010, which is they call them tens, and they got the 0.011, which is 11s. See, that's the first string, this one here. This is a 9. And I'm overplaying the heck out of it. I can't help myself. I'm a passionate man. I hit him too hard, String violence is my main thing. I try to keep I keep a pretty low profile. I live a pretty quiet life, My biggest crimes usually are violence against guitar strings, and of course there's meter violation. I was once a fugitive from justice in San Francisco in my youth. I had a Chevy. There's two kinds of people. There's Ford people and Chevy people. Well, I've been both, actually. I've had Fords and Chevys. But I had a Chevy in San Francisco, and you really can't have a car in San Francisco very easily unless you have enough money to pay for a garage parking space somewhere, because you try to park on the street, I think there are parking spaces that are passed down, like free parking spaces in residential neighborhoods that are passed down through generations of families and guarded jealously. But
I think most big cities are like that.
yeah,
We complain about parking in Iowa City, but it's not nearly as bad as it is in the big cities.
parking in Iowa City isn't that bad. You walk a few blocks, maybe. If it's really bad, you might have to walk a few blocks. So I said, there's no place to park in Iowa City. You say, oh man. My trying to park in the city, for me, one thing is like parking meters, they all have a very short term on them a lot of times. And then there I am with my amp and my guitar and things. I'd run somewhere to some place and park. And the park someplace and then run 6 blocks in the heat someplace, like Chicago or someplace, and to go play my thing. And
I let the university study me one time. I had to go downtown for it. And all those meters down there are, an hour or less.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I never got out in less than an hour. And my parking fines cost me more than I made from doing the study for them.
I see. Huh. They should have given you a parking place.
Yeah. That would have been nice.
Yeah, well, we can't expect too much, I suppose.
Right.
Nice to expect something. Well, I don't know where I got into the parking thing, but how did I get into the parking thing? San Francisco? Meter violation. That's right. Because I used to park in the alley that had parking meters in it, and they were very short-term parking meters, and like 15-minute parking meters, and it was right next to my hotel. And I, when I was in between things, trying to figure out some more long-term place to put the car, I would keep, feeding nickels in. But after a while, I got so many tickets and an interest on my tickets, because they were very hardcore about it, that I just didn't, there was just no way I was going to be able to pay it. And so I became a fugitive. And then one day I was, I think I was over at my girlfriend's place, to tell you the truth. And the police went to the hotel that I lived, because I lived at the Harcourt Residence Club, which is it's a hotel where you buy the room by the week, and then you can have a roommate. It's like a little room. You can have a roommate, twin beds, or whatever, and there's a sink in the corner, bathroom down the hall, and then they feed you. But if you work there, if you can get one of those jobs, which I did, you don't have to pay any rent, and they feed you 3 times a day, which is so you have room and board in San Francisco. So you don't really need any money anymore. You need to buy soap and stuff,
And since nobody can afford to live in San Francisco.
And well, this is back in the old days when you could actually sort of afford to live in San Francisco, but now you have to be rich. In the old days, it was a working town. There used to be, it used to be affordable. They were, there were waiters and people could live there. But anyway, so there I was. I wasn't in my room, but and my roommate's name was Tom, also, which was very unfortunate. My roommate was named Tom. The 2 guys across the hall were named Tom, and the guy upstairs was named Tom. And so the police came to pick people up, and they really freaked out my roommate, because his name was Tom, but he had a different last name, you see, because he was somebody else. But they scared him, because he was the kind of guy that scared easily anyway. The police came. But anyway, they arrested a bunch of people from the hotel, because everybody had, this is a common crime, meter violation in San Francisco in those days. And so they came and arrested a number of people, but I wasn't there. So that's my one opportunity. I don't know why I'm confessing it, but it's my one opportunity to get hauled off. But anyway, so meter violation was my crime. I'm much better now. My recidivism is fairly low. I even overpay parking meters sometimes. I put a quarter in when a dime would suffice.
Yeah.
Anyway, what am I talking about? I'm sorry, man. I should be more serious. I'm here to play guitar, but all right. Hang on, I'm gonna twiddle this knob a little bit.
Yeah, funny how you can start out on a guitar string and end up parking.
That's right. Well, yeah. That's what it started out with. It was the strings, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I overplay. I play too hard, man. They accuse me of being a string terror. What do I do here? Hang on.
Have you hired a new rhythm section?
No, I have a Boss RC30 loop station, and I don't know how to use it. I've had it for some time now, and I still haven't quite figured it out how to run it. So I know how to do a couple things on it, and yeah, I don't know how to do everything on it. It'd be great if I ever learned how to use this one. Just to, yeah. Too much technology. No, I just don't get into that sound, I guess. Or, rock and roll is here to stay.
Easy top.
Yeah, I know. There's this sort of. It's sort of ZZ Top kind of groove. I don't have the beard for it. Now, Doug, he's on the way. He could do it. You need about another foot of it, beard there, and you'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
So I grew a nice. I work with a guy like that. He grew his beard really long. Yeah, his hair was always short and neatly trimmed, but his beard would get longer and longer, and he just cut it off himself, straight. So it's a big square beard right about to the about the end of his rib cage there. So I don't know. I guess you could have a. There's a Stooges thing where they like a bird flies out of it or something. They have a sort of a bird's nest in the guy's beard sort of thing. But I don't know. You could probably put things in your beard there, couldn't you? You could hide stuff in there, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lunch.
Yeah. Well, you got leftovers in there, don't you? Yeah. Anyway, well. Oh well, nice shirt anyway. So.
I'm sorry to say I'm one of them strat guys, so I guess some of them and you have both of them.
Hey, man,
I don't know. You both have the same uniform tonight.
Yeah. Well, I go both ways though with that. And
If you want to buy me a Paul, though, I would take it.
well, all right. Well, with all my extra money, I'll make sure he gets you one of those $1,500,
All right.
one of the cheaper ones, not the signature $2,300 one, but just a stripped down $1,500 model here. Yeah. No, Joe, just wait till I'm ahead of my bills, and that'll be. You might wait.
If I live that long.
That's why I say. Well, you trip over your long gray beard, but you're on the way, so maybe it's possible for you. But that's all. But anyway, yeah. I mean, actually, I tell you, I played this Paul quite a bit last summer, and when I got it, and this is about 15-year-old Les Paul here. I got it used, of course, and it was affordable, and I paid it off slow, but. And I was into it for a while, and then I didn't. And then after about 3 weeks, I couldn't really play it anymore. And then this last spring, I got the DBZ guitar, the Zelinsky, and it's this does the same thing. It's a similar sort of pickups, but it's like I like it better. And then I got the Telecaster that had like the same kind of pickups as this that I've brought on the show, the black Telecaster. I think I brought it on a couple times, and I like that one even better than this. So I've got this Les Paul here, and I'm trying to play it, I mean, guitars don't care if they're played. I mean, they don't care. They're inanimate, but it's like it's good for them to be played, And you shouldn't let them like hang there and do nothing, They should. Sorry. be back next week. I'm not playing with Marcus this weekend. This is next weekend. The 28th, Tuscan Moon. But I'll be there Friday and Saturday night, Tuscan Moon. And I'll be back here next week on Tom's Guitar Show.